settings, and we spoke about logical system, RS destination, business system groups, business systems, and we also understood how EWM would connect to more than one ERP, and how business system group and business system can be used in a decentralized environment. So today we'll proceed with our settings. We'll go ahead and maintain some functional configuration related to integration. Okay. So some of this configuration which we are going to cover today, they may not be all integration relevant. Some of this configuration are required for EWM. Some may be from the logistics side, logistic execution side. Some may be from the EWM side. But these configuration, they may be optional in logistic execution, but they may be mandatory with EWM. Okay, so let's go through them one by one. But yeah, let's refer the list of configs in the wizard and follow them manually. Okay, so now we have, okay, I think it's better to follow the slide because yeah, so these are the BC sets. I think somebody was asking if we need to know what are the standard BC sets. And these are the BC sets which will have the basis, the basic settings for the best practice setup. It should already be there, but if you don't have, you can use these BC sets. Okay, so we have okay, I think they don't cover all the configs, so let me go through the slide. So okay, so first configuration is for the business system. We would map, let me land it a bit more. Okay, so for the business system, we will map what is the warehouse, from where the deliveries are coming, and we'll map it to a 4-character warehouse in EWM. Okay, so we have here app integration setting. That should be here. Yeah, assign warehouse number from logistic execution. So here we can see for embedded system, business system is blank, because when we are working with embedded system, we don't integrate EWM with another ERP. It's only specific to that ERP. So that's why business system, you cannot connect to more than one business system. So the warehouse we created is W34 and WH34. Yeah, EWM warehouse WH34. So when the deliveries which are coming from ERP, they'll have in the queue, they will have warehouse W34, and then it will create a parallel delivery for warehouse, another delivery, a EWM delivery for warehouse WH34 in EWM.
So for standalone EWM deliveries, it will pick the same business system which we have created.
Yeah. So
Or does it pick some internal?
So it was standalone. Then we would have also mentioned the business system. So we would have maintained one entry for ERP-A, that business system, and this would be another entry for ERP-B.
Sorry, I meant by delivery in EWM. If we create delivery only in EWM, it will pick up the same business system which we have created.
Yeah, so there are two deliveries, two type of deliveries. One is within warehouse, or one we should update ERP. So
Yeah.
for within warehouse, it will use the own business system. But if it has to update ERP, then we need to maintain in the delivery creation which business system it is created for.
Yeah. No, but it will be one business system, right? Can
Yes, it will
embed
be.
it.
Yes, it will be always one business system in it.
So it will pick up on its own where business system,
Oh
which we have
yes,
created
yes.
only
In
one.
yeah, yeah. It will pick on its own. In that case, you don't have to give.
Yeah. So it's not like something internal. It generates business system on its own
It will pick up based on the warehouse. If you enter the warehouse, it will pick up the business system.
from there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because for this warehouse, there is just one business system.
Yeah. So for decentralized, this become business system also become important entry, right? Right.
Yeah.
It is
For,
blank, but right, because we are in embedded, so we don't need that because we
you
have
know,
only one business system.
correct, correct. And see, this business system generally it becomes important. Uh, where there can be chances in decentralized, the same warehouse code will be used by two ERP systems.
Yeah.
In that case, this becomes mandatory. But yeah, if you don't see in decentralized also, if you keep it blank, should be fine. That means it covers all the business systems. Okay. So let's move ahead. The next configuration is mapping of store location. So we have store location and we have four, basically our overall warehouse we are divided into four groups. Yeah. So based on the store location, we have raw material. I mean, four areas, I would say, not groups. We have raw material, we have available for sales. That means where the raw materials are going to be stored. We have finished goods area, we have production area. So we need to map the store location to in EWM so that we could identify each of these areas separately. Okay, so these mapping is done through a object called as availability group. We'll not be discussing availability group because it itself is a big topic which will take
Yeah.
at least one session. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to maintain this config, just assign whatever is the standard availability group for our store location. We'll revisit that, we'll create new groups and we will maintain it later when we cover this in more detail in inbound. But this is mandatory because when the store location comes in EW, when the store location information comes in EWM, EWM will not know. EWM basically doesn't store the store location details. So EWM needs some availability group to identify that this is separate. And based on that, the stock will be seen as a separate entity.
So it will get automatically copied from here to storage type, or we have to put it in the storage type, Rohan? This value.
We may or may not put into storage type.
Okay.
Depending on our requirement. We also have a process type level. It can also take from store location.
Okay.
Depending on our process, we will either maintain it at a process type or a storage type level.
Okay.
So in the standard system, we have availability group 1 and 2. Okay, 1 for receiving on dock, 2 for available for sale. And this is the logical system. So just, if you can correlate, this is data, this is delivery data, which will come from ERP. This plant, if a delivery comes with this plant, or I would say when we are trying to receive a stock from this plant, this store location, it came from this system. This is the warehouse, and it will identify this store location stock as a separate availability group and another store location as a separate. So whenever we are trying to have multiple store locations, we have to assign them to a separate availability group. We have to create a new availability group for each store location for that particular warehouse.
So, and when we create a storage type, we create a storage type under storage location, or it will be
No, under warehouse. It will be under warehouse.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So this availability group, you can high level, you can imagine this is, it's basically your store location. It's a placeholder for your store location. And this will help you in EWM to identify which stock belongs to which store location. Okay. Otherwise, we'll not be able to find it. We need to know, raw material separately, sales separately. So in EWM also, you can identify the storage location specific stock. There is no field like storage location in EWM. Using alternative group, we kind of identify which stock belongs to which storage location.
So here you have given an example that 1,000 for the raw material, like the storage location for the raw material. But there can be a situation where I keep my all product, raw material, packaging material, even semi-finished or finished product in same storage location.
Then you'll only have one entry. You will not have two entries here.
Okay,
For
so
that storage location.
okay, so what then in the is what we are saying, when I get my raw material, it will sit always in 1,000. And when I will and now when I stage this raw material, because raw material need for the production, right? So when I stage this raw material, it will go to the 3,000, right? What we made for the production, right?
That's correct.
And from there the consumption will happen.
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
And when I produce my finished product, it will go to the 4,000. Okay, and from where the sale will happen.
That's correct. Yeah, that's the setup we are going to do.
Okay.
So we are going to add at later stage. We'll have two more store locations here.
Yeah. Sorry, but you are asking something.
No. I was just asking this availability group, which you have mentioned here. There must be, defined somewhere else.
Yeah, will have to be defined somewhere else. There are some 4-5 configurations.
Okay.
For a group, which we will come back later.
All right.
It's quite an important one, sir. It's quite confusing as well.
So why we have only two storage group? There were four storage
We have
locations.
to configure the other two. That's what we'll do in our availability group topic. In standard, you have just two, but we'll create two more, and we'll do these 5 configurations for the other two.
So that 2,000 was available for sale, correct? Storage location.
That's correct.
And for EWM available for sale is that storage type 002 standard. It's complete. Sorry, can you go back again? What it represent? Complete goods, complete available. No goods
completely available.
So
or AFS.
Okay, but this is also the goods which are finished products. No. Or it is
just
available.
for now, just you just represent, understand that 001 represent 1,000 storage location and 002 represent 2,000 storage location.
Okay.
For now, right, Ron?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay,
As of now, just park the other two storage locations.
Yeah. So the Ron will take this availability group session separately in more detail.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when we'll try to create other storage location as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I will introduce a new object called as supply chain unit. Okay. So basically, the warehouse that we create, we need to create a supply chain unit for the warehouse. Okay. So why we need supply chain unit for a warehouse? Basically, where it is used. So if you see here, I'm just trying to help you correlate. If you see here, when we create a warehouse, there is no address information here. Like we have address data in our plant config, we don't have in a shipping point config, we don't have similar address information stored here. For a warehouse, the address information is taken from supply chain unit. The time zone information is taken from supply chain unit. Okay, that's how SAP has created this. This is a master data. Okay, and we create supply chain unit. Uh, this is master data, and we create supply chain unit basically as part of a cutover. Okay, so for your warehouse, you will create supply chain unit, only once during your cutover activities. So the supply chain unit, basically you can create it with the same name, WH34, or if you want, you can just do like this, SCU hyphen WH34. It all depends, um, what naming convention you agree. I think WH34 is good enough here. So this supply chain unit basically is a SCM object. It was also used by APO. We also use this in transportation management as well. So all SCM modules, they use this supply chain unit, and here you can enter your type. So they'll be, don't get confused. There are several more types. We may not use all of them. We'll just use 2 or 3 of them. Others are being used by other SCM modules, SNP and all those SPPAs and all. So this supply chain unit, we have to create it manually. Okay, and I'll just tell you what else we can maintain here. Warehouse WH34. Okay, we have a time zone here, which I will say /o extend. I'll take it from the plant. If I enter the address, I think it will take up the time zone. Just a minute. Okay.
So all this master data element, this is also available in Fury, correct? Because if it's master data,
Yeah, it may be available in Fury as well. But Fury is for users. So when we go into these scenarios, then we'll use Fury. This is kind of a integration master data we set up for integration. We don't, other modules may be using them for like transportation. It may be used like a business master data, but for EWM, the business users don't use them.
and you had the transaction code. Is there no menu path for EWM transaction codes?
Yes, there are many paths.
There are
Yeah, there are many paths.
because they're long.
Yeah. Region is California. Should take up the time zone from there. Okay. Now, this is important. So we maintain now for system to know that this is a warehouse. We need to also do something like we
I
assign
noticed
them.
there was a GLN code and all that dance. So why this GLN code is there? And SCU. Should go in, yeah.
I haven't used this before. A global location number.
Yeah.
I think
This is the part of the
Fury.
SCC number, GLN number, I think. This is the first, because you identify your warehouse with one unique 7-digit code. I think it will be something like that, Ron. It's not.
Yeah. But I think this should be more used when you're using cross-talking scenarios across warehouse and transportation scenarios, where for each location you have a global number, but within the warehouse we don't use them.
Okay.
So the business attribute assignment is important. Okay, so we need to make sure we assign INV. Okay. And there may be some planning done. So we also assign planning location as well. So these are the two important business attributes we need to assign.
And what about the warehousing and those like warehousing? Can you afford that again, please? The values. Yeah, door and what else? Yeah, the loading group. These are
not required for warehouse.
Office also. There is office one as well, right? Where is it?
We'll come to not required for integration. We'll, if required, we'll look at them into the process, but not required for integration.
So and Rohan, when we do the cutover activity, so this is again LSMW or BDC, right? When we were doing greenfield implementation or even the upgrade. So it will be LSMW will be used to create.
We just need, see, when we are going live, we'll go live with 2 or 3 warehouse, right? Maximum at a time.
Yeah. So
So
manually
we don't need manually, we can do it.
yeah,
We did
that's fine. Yeah, not many entries. Correct.
Okay, so we need another one.
So one more thing over here, the type you have taken it as a warehouse. So if I got a manufacturing location, so should I need to take a plant because there's a production plant also?
No, this supply chain unit is for the warehouse, not for the plant.
Okay.
So your address for your warehouse can be different than your plant.
Or in case I have a warehouse within my plant.
So still you create a separate, let's keep it simple, this supply chain unit is for warehouse, not for plant. You can use plant code also if you want. If you want to do that, it's fair enough. That doesn't matter because this has to be further assigned to the warehouse. So you can assign naming convention, you can use anything, but this is warehouse. This is not a plant. Okay, this supply chain is for the warehouse.
What's the main purpose of this then? I mean, we are just replicating warehouse with the SCU just for the address
and time zone. That's correct.
I think what I understood, it is more like a shipping point on EWM. Is that something correct?
No. Shipping point has nothing to do. It's
nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So the SCM org structures are created this way. It's not only EWM but APO and others also. They create a supply chain unit with that attributes and it stores the information here.
I think for the transportation module it may need, but for the APO, I think we get location we create.
Locations are there. Right?
Yeah, location we get, but not the supply chain. But yeah, for the transportation we may need it.
So I'm going to also create a supply chain unit for shipping point. We'll also need a supply chain unit for shipping point. So our shipping point is SH34. So it's created.
Why two? Why two? Why not one? Why we are creating two? Even it will work with one also, right?
Yeah, it will work with one, but you can also say, WH34 is your shipping point. Okay, so your shipping points are different. So when we create a shipping point, okay, when the shipping points are communicated from ERP to EWM, we call them as good receiving office and shipping office. So there is a field in EWM deliveries as good receiving office, shipping office. So when your shipping point comes to EWM, it looks for a supply chain unit and with that attributes so that it can identify this. Okay. So ideally in a decentralized system or old system in S4 before S4 HANA, we used to sift shipping points to EWM, which would automatically create a supply chain unit.
Yeah, from there, I'm trying to say that shipping point is equal to.
So we have to create it manually, and we have to do the assignment of shipping point to warehouse.
And it's one-to-one relation of supply chain and the shipping point. If I have 5 shipping point, then I need a 5 supply chain
chain
unit.
unit. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
But Shiva here. Sorry to interrupt.
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah. Good morning. See, actually, I have one clarification. See, we have configuration between a plant and shipping point in backend, right? Then why we need a separate supply chain unit for plant and another one for shipping?
See, it's still early days. EWM is predominantly was a decentralized module. Okay, so it's still early days in S4 HANA. Now the whole decentralized system has been embedded into S4 HANA. Okay, so
Okay.
we still are carrying forward, all the settings that we used to do in decentralized system. Still, we do the same in embedded.
Okay.
I understand this is a valid question. Many clients also ask this question, especially with deliveries. They say, why we have two deliveries, one ERP, one EWM. I think slowly SAP will make it a more integrated system, but still till then, we have to do it this way. That's why, wherever I'm explaining you something, I'm showing you where to get the standard SAP document so that you can get the latest updates, because a lot of things are changing in every version of EWM.
Okay.
It will be seamlessly integrated in future. Yeah, that is the expectation.
Yeah, definitely it should be integrated, right? That see, anyhow, that base configuration contains both the assignment, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, somebody who doesn't have a background, but somebody has not worked in decentralized or prior to S4, it is very confusing. I agree.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So, coming back to the attributes again, attributes are important. We will assign this as a good receiving office. So, shipping points, in ECC, we say in inbound deliveries also we need a shipping point. We call it as a good receiving point. In outbound deliveries, call it as a shipping point. It's the same object. In EWM, same way we have for good receiving, we have a good receipt office. In outbound, we have shipping office. And then in our deliveries, we'll see when we start with deliveries, you'll see the shipping point from our ERP delivery. When we create a EWM delivery, the shipping point field will be updated into a delivery field, EWM delivery field called as good receipt office or shipping office. Okay. So I'll also assign planning location here. Okay. So these are the supply chain units that are created. We just need these two for integration perspective.
What is a planning unit there you assigned?
Planning location.
Yeah.
So there is a master data called as location that gets created when we assign a planning location. Basically, any supply chain unit, you may execute some planning. So planning, again, it's not done by us, but a transportation team can do planning with from a supply chain unit to cross docking warehouse, or you may do it for a transit location. So each, they need a master data called as location, which gets created when we maintain planning location. So you will, if you don't maintain plan location going forward in some integration settings, you will get a message, it's not a planning location. So it's required for warehouse and shipping point, basically.
Okay.
You can normally the planning location it is applicable only for production related activities, right?
No.
Okay, but all
Even for your supply chain and shipment also we need that.
But actually, what is the significance of this type? Actually, this type
The
1008.
see, that's what kind of supply chain unit you're creating.
Okay.
If you're creating a warehouse, it's 108. Okay, did I miss it?
Yeah, a lot of types are there actually.
No, I'm just worried now whether I've selected the right one for supply chain.
Okay.
Okay, it selected 8. That's a problem. I should have
That is
said.
very important point. Actually.
Okay, let's. So that's my bad. I think I created as a 8.
Yeah, but 8 is a for plant, right?
It's a warehouse.
Yeah, warehouse. Yeah.
Let me delete it.
But how system is allowing, but it's not supposed to allow it, right?
This is master data. You are giving your name, so it
Mhm.
still doesn't connect to your ERP, right? Your shipping
Okay.
point.
We have a separate background job to create a supply chain unit.
Not to create, to delete. I'm deleting it
Or
now.
delete.
I think somehow it's not deleting. Okay. No, it's not deleting. Okay, leave that to me and have a look at it, and we'll see.
But you can one more question here actually when that the real time implementation. See, if you want to upload supply chain unit as a bulk, see whether they have separate upload program or how it is, how they upload the master data
We don't need to
implementation.
do them in bulk. Why we? It's just for warehouse and shipping points. We'll not have too many shipping points, isn't it? Like hundreds and all. It will be
Okay.
few, right? Maybe
Mhm.
5, 10 maximum. We do it
Okay.
manually.
Manual they will okay.
There is no, mass transaction given by SAP for supply chain unit because there is no need, it seems. So I think let me make a note of it and I'll cover it. I'll do it offline. Need to see why it's not deleting. Okay. So the next setting.
So what is the T code for deletion, Yogan?
It's the same T code we went to create supply chain unit. It's there in the slide.
Okay.
The menu path is there in the slide. So what I will do is I'll look into this. So and then there is like how we assign supply chain, how we assign a plant to a shipping point. Same way we will assign the supply chain unit of warehouse to supply chain unit of uh, receiving office and shipping office. So here for our warehouse, I'm going to maintain entry PL34 INV, and I'm going to assign it to supply chain unit SH34 RO and SH34 SO. Okay, so I'll do that settings. I need to first fix this supply chain unit which I've created wrongly. Okay, I'll take a pause here. Any other questions? Because I'm going to start a new discussion on custody and partner to dispose. Any questions so far? Okay, if no questions, then we'll. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, so before we go into this config, there is another config which we need to make sure it's maintained. This is acknowledge use of advanced functions. Okay, So when we go with EWM implementation in embedded system, okay, as an embedded deployment option, you have two license possibility. One is your S/4HANA license, which you would have taken along with your, we call it as enterprise license, which where you have already taken modules like MMP, PSD. So through that, you also get a basic warehouse management. Okay, so EWM is included in your S/4HANA license. Okay, if you're using these functionalities like simple inbound, outbound, deconsolidation, internal movements, physical inventory, reporting, if you're using very basic lean EWM, then it's free. But if you use these functionalities, if you're using slotting, waves, MFS, labor management, kitting, customization, talk appointment scheduling, if you're using these functionalities, then you need to buy an additional license. So
So this is something like a basic EWM and the advanced EWM.
That's correct. This is for additional license.
Here I see a lot of difference, but when we look at it, there were difference only like a labor management, kitting, sorting, and the cross docking. Those were listed over there, but here I look a lot more, right? Like IDOC based integration to MFS subsystem.
So I think all are okay. The major challenge comes with waves.
Yes.
This is the main reason many people have to go for the advanced. Wave is not there in standard. So others, I don't see much of the companies using them. There are specialized companies like they have huge warehouses, automobiles and paints especially. They have huge warehouses. They use a lot of MFS and they are willing to pay because they have, rather than paying for an external system with some additional license, they are getting an integrated system. That's okay for them. They are okay to pay. But somebody who wants to use basic, this is the functionality which really hurts them.
So
Waves.
Wave is a really a good one. So it is not available in
Basic.
the basic. Okay. Okay.
So you need to come here and acknowledge if you're using advanced functionality, advanced EWM. If you're selected here as basic, and if you're using any advanced EWM functionality, then it is audited by SAP, and you may be not sure. You may be fined, or you may be told to stop using it or buy an additional license. I don't know, but SAP does audit this. So it's advanced for us because we are going to test everything in the test system.
This is something we have to do, or SAP will do, and when they release S4.
We have to do by default. It will be blank when you take for your warehouse. It will be like no acknowledgement. You just have to select.
This is, but sorry, but there, we discussed in the beginning, there was some activation we have to do, right? The 3-digit code.
Yeah.
Right. So those should not play the role over here, because why then we are doing it?
Okay, let's look at 1710.
Yeah.
It is advanced. Standard SAP is advanced. So the best practice is advanced. We have copied best practice. Yes, it will come here as advanced. Why we need to revisit whether we are really having an advanced or we are using a basic. So it may be, you have to revisit this. I'm not saying, it may be.
No, I got your point. But those, because for the wave also, there must be some activation number, right? The best practice in the SAP website, there will be definitely 3-digit code which basis need to activate before we use.
That's correct.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So many things will be, depending on your system setup, many things will be inbuilt in your system. Like waves, if somebody downloads BC set for waves, you you still can download BC set file. It doesn't stop you from using it. If you're using a base, if you've set up a basic, it doesn't stop you anywhere. So only with SAP's report, their audit report, they will be able to catch, that this is basic and there is data in waves. That means wave is being used.
So choosing this is just the SAP making you accountable.
Accountable, yeah.
You are
It's like
selecting and you're just acknowledging.
yeah.
Yeah, we are using it.
And it has no role anywhere in any of the configs or any of the setup. It's just a acknowledgement and
You're signing the contract, basically telling SAP that we are using it. Or if you don't select advanced and you're using it, you're just defaulting.
That's correct. So, okay, let's move on to the next three important definitions: patent to dispose, custodian, and owner. So when we look at our stock in EWM, we'll have these identifications in our deliveries at our stock level. So what are these identifications and where they can be different? So first of all, patent to dispose, just simply correlate it with your plant. Okay, so this is an organization at which level the stocks are planned. So when you look at your stock, so you need to know who's planning this stock. Okay, who takes decision for the stock. Okay, that's the party entitled to dispose. Your custodian is somebody who is storing the stock. Okay, so basically a company may be doing planning. Let's say I have stock of I'm planning PL WH34. PL34 is my partner to dispose, but my custodian can be another warehouse, or can be another partner. For example, I give it to DHL. The custodian of the stock is DHL. Okay, so the physical custody is with them. So in an embedded simple scenario, if you're not using external third-party warehouses, your plant itself is your custodian. They do the planning and then they are the custodian. So patent to dispose, custodian, owner, these all are business partners. So that's where we are going to use our plant as business partner that we created yesterday. So for our warehouse, I'm going to say BP 1934 is the party to dispose. That is the party that is taking decisions for the stock, planning the stock, and this same business partner, I'm going to assign it so that I'm telling the system that the custody is with the plant itself. Physical custody is it's the plant itself, and they are the custodian of the stock. And by doing this, I'm also, for example, let's say we have a third-party warehouse. I would create a BPDHL, and I'll assign it to the warehouse. That means my partner to dispose may be BP1934, but my custodian can be BPDHL. Okay, so in our case, a custodian is the plant itself. Then we don't need it as part of integration, but when we go into further scenarios, you'll come across another or maybe at a stock level. When we look at a stock, you'll come across another definition called as owner. So what is owner? Owner is a party or a business partner. So all these three are business partners. Okay, who owns the stock? See, custodian may be in a physical possession, but it can be legally owned by someone else. Our example is vendor consignment. So in your vendor consignment stock, when you look into it in EWM, so in most of you are familiar, when we see a vendor consignment stock, we see vendor's code and we'll see a special stock category as K. But when you see the same thing in EWM, you'll not see special stock category. We don't have them in EWM. You'll see the owner is BP XYZ, whatever is the vendor code. So the vendor name comes as the owner. There's just one field of special stock category, just one field owner, where the vendor name is maintained. When we want to change it from vendors to vendor consignment stock to our own stock, we will change the owner from BPXYZ to BP1934. So changing the owner will do a transfer posting from vendor consignment stock to our own stock. Okay, so we will be discussing this as part of vendor consignment process. So that's where we are going to use it. All normal stock. So this owner is updated by system internally. So when you do a process of a normal receipt, it automatically updates the owner as 1934. But when you receive a vendor consignment stock, automatically it updates the owner as a vendor. Okay, when you do 101K, it updates your owner as your the vendor as your owner. So
Rohan, just take one example that I'm a big warehouse, okay, and I keep the product for my different supplier, different customers, as the Tesco, Sainsbury, right? Now, when I will set this up in my warehouse, I'm talking about my warehouse. I'm configuring. I'm a warehouse. I keep a stock for now. The custodian will be Tesco. Now I have more than one custodian, right? For the product which I'm storing in my warehouse. But
yeah,
when you look
no. Custodian will be one.
Custodian will be me. Sorry, yeah. Custodian will be one. Custodian will be I am, but the owner will be many. The owner is
yes.
As the
Before going to owner, your party entitled dispose may be many.
Yes, party to entitled dispose will also, but the party to dispose will not be the person who, because owner will tell you what need to be moved and where it need to be disposed, right?
No, it's the party entitled dispose which will take the decision.
But if like you are, for example, if you are my customer, I am keeping your stock, right? So you will be the only person who will tell me what to do with the stock, right? I cannot touch that. I'm just keeping that stock in my warehouse, but I'm not allowed to, even if it is, I have to scrap it or if I have to dispose it, until unless you don't tell me, I will not be doing that, right?
Yeah, that's correct. As part of the process, you have to take my approval, but who is basically
doing it.
entitled to do it. So the party will dispose. A owner, a vendor, or a customer, they can't do it. We are just maintaining their ownership, or that they legally own it, or it's basically their property. That identification is there, but anything to do with your stock, the partner will dispose is the person who is going to take the decisions and make it. Yeah, obviously he has to reach out to the owners, take their agreement.
Okay, so it's a custodian party to, and in case of owner, when I have more than one owner for the stock,
you will have individual lines for each owner. One stock cannot have more than one owner, right? One piece, one quantity, one unit can either belong to you or it can belong to me. It cannot be both.
So can you bring that screenshot, please? The screenshot where you have that custodian and everything in the config. So please, for a minute. Yeah, this one. Now, supplying chain unit custodian. Okay, here we don't have the owner. Okay, this is key.
Owner is taken by the process. That's why I told you. When you receive a vendor consignment material, system based on the movement type, it's going to update your owner.
Yeah. So there will be a scenario when your custodian and to get disposed, party to dispose, entitled to dispose, it can be separate also.
Yes, it can be separate. That's why I gave you an example of DHL. Your plant is.
So basically, Sid, when a warehouse is owned by a third party, that's the custodian. It's
Yes,
different.
correct. That's a custodian.
Yeah. but it's your own warehouse. You own that
No,
building,
no,
or you own
that
that.
I got it.
That-
So if it is a third party, custodian is a third party, then who will be the party entitled to dispose?
You
That's you.
So
in
can
if
So
there
Mohammed,
are warehouses owned by your own company but
That is
run
clear.
by third
Yeah, that is
party.
clear. Yeah, that is clear. But no,
So it's
my
your plant
yeah,
run by a third party. Then
yes,
custodian is third party provider,
yes.
but you are the party to dispose.
the third party warehouses, they are simply, following an instruction. The plant tells them receive these
Okay,
products.
but for the
They
third
will do
party
that.
warehouse, we don't need this no setup. No, but if I take it other way, that I am a third party, I am holding a stock for different customer.
Mhm.
So there is a confusion, Rohan, for me.
Okay. So yeah, you put it correctly. So let's look into that scenario. So if you are a third party,
Yeah,
your party to dispose will be your plant.
yeah,
So if you are DHL,
yes,
your warehouse will be, let's say, WS34, supply
yes,
chain unit DH34, that's your warehouse, DHL.
yeah,
Custodian, DHL. Party
yes.
entitled to dispose will be your, let's say, PL34. It's a different plant. So,
Okay, okay,
so
okay.
your party entitled to dispose will be different because for you, you're not the person taking decisions for your stock. Somebody else is taking.
Yeah. But yeah,
But
but
in this scenario, just one more thing. So you saying party to dispose is one, right? There can be many owners in that, right?
Yeah, I was
DHL
about to come there. Yeah. Now in this scenario, if you have more than, if you are a DHL, your warehouse, you have a warehouse, you're using EWM there, and you may have stock of Tesco, Vazda, so
yes,
many. Yeah.
yeah,
In that case, you have to keep it blank because you need to understand this is default party entitled to
okay,
dispose. So default will help you with whenever system needs a party to dispose, it will just take this. But when you are storing stock for more than one, you have to tell the system, let's say you're scrapping, then you have to tell the system which whose stock you're scrapping.
but
Mazda's or
yeah, that there were
Tesco's.
I another when I create the product master, right? Like WM, then this is mandatory entry.
So when you create a product master, that's
Yeah,
correct. So
that
if a product is a jam or a tomato ketchup, you have to tell it whether you're creating it for Tazda or you're creating it for Tesco. You have to tell
yeah,
which. So the
they
same
all have
material,
different.
yeah, same code of material
Hmm.
you create for different. You create it for other. You create for. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
okay.
So it's
level,
same
different
for
level, different
different
master.
plants, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so here in the config we'll keep it separate, but when we create the warehouse like the product master, WM product master, then we will put that over there manually. Okay, this is going for this. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have three different plants, right? For Asda,
No,
where,
but in my system, I will have only one plant. Like I'm a 3PL, right? I'm a warehouse, I'm a big DHL warehouse. I will have a one plant. Okay. But then within that one plant, I got a 10 products. Three products goes to Tesco, three product goes to Asda, and the four product goes to Sainsbury. So when I create my product master, like it will come down the line, then I will put the that is what is this word? What
Party entitled dispose.
party to dispose? Yeah. In product master, I will write the right one. Who is that?
yes,
Okay, yeah, let's
here you'll
One
keep blank.
correction: if
yeah.
you're a DHL, you'll not create a plant
I will not create a plant. Why?
because you'll only have EWM setup. You'll not have a plant and MM setup, right? You'll use a decentralized EWM. You'll not have ERP with you.
Yes. But again, from the when I do the configuration in embedded, so does not the plant should not need to come from ERP to EWM within the embedded.
See, again, embedded cannot be used for more than one ERP systems. If you're a DHL, you have to use decentralized.
Yeah, you'll be connected with ERPs of different clients, like
Yes.
Asda, Sainsbury's, and all.
S/4HANA and decentralized version, you have to use it. And then in that case, you'll not be able to use ERP. ERPs are different.
Okay, so all big Amazon, like all the warehousing side, they will use only the warehousing, proper warehousing, not without.
Not with ERP, yeah.
Yeah, so it will be the same box, right? But they will not use the they will not use the ERP functionality, like the configuration.
Yeah, yeah. In S/4HANA, it's the same box.
Box, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah.
Okay, so let's do this assignment for our warehouse. So you need to be very careful with this configuration. Once you start using the warehouse, it's just not recommended to change this.
So this is the supply chain unit you created with 1008, right? The
Yes,
warehouse.
that's correct. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Rogan, there is again one question come up in my mind.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. I mean, this is
now I'm a manufacturing as well as I'm a warehousing. Okay, there can be a scenario where I keep the right scenario right now we are doing. So
Yeah.
we have a plant, we keep the stock which we produce, okay, and we also keep the stock of the other food manufacturing company, right? So that can be the scenario where we can have this requirement, right? You're getting my point. Like we initially
Yes, then this default party and title would be kept blank.
Blank. That's correct. And it's common, many customers they do have this and they keep it blank. That's okay.
Okay. But what I also notice, like maybe I did something wrong. When I create a product master, if I try to give manually this value in the product master, it don't accept.
Because this was maintained as this would have been maintained. Just remove this and then you will be able.
And it will do. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so all right. So you've done this config, you've done the acknowledgement. Okay, you've created plant as customer vendor. Okay, I think that's it. I think we are good with this. All right. So we've completed our integration settings here. Okay. So okay, that's good. So warehouse, we have in ERP we have warehouse W34, EWM WH34. We have maintained the party and to dispose and the custodian. The plant is created, we have also created warehouse with the attributes INV and planning location. We could have also created supply chain unit in any other code, in plant code also. We have done it in a warehouse code. Story location are mapped as availability group. For now, we've just used the existing ones. Going forward, when we discuss availability group, it basically contains different stock types. Plant as customer, plant as vendor, we've created them as business partner. Shipping point, we have created them as supply chain unit with attributes. Receiving office and sales office. Okay, so here we have completed all our integration for a warehouse. Then what I want you to do this year, we have completed a unit 1, our first week. I want you to go through this, okay, and a bill of material. Once you get the system, just look at the ERP setup of this bill of material, of these products, and also you can go through this layout. Just try to visualize what we are trying to cover here. Just make sure you're used to this layout so that we'll start executing the process. It will, when I say, I may say 8003, you should understand, yeah, this is general storage. Just make yourself aware of the naming convention. So this is going to be a pump manufacturing process you're going to execute. Okay, so for pump manufacturing, these are the components, a bill of material. So this is a pump storage. So make sure 8004 and 6, if you have access system, you can also try browsing through the storage types and other warehouse nodes, but make sure you have reached this point we have completed, all the settings that we have covered so far. And by this way, our warehouse is integrated. Then, okay, we have a Fiori link and we have Fiori tiles. When we start Fiori tiles, when we start the process, I will take you through the tiles and I'll show you how you can add them to your favorites.
So how to execute a Fiori? Can you quickly show that, Rohan, if we get the system?
So this Fiori link, you will find it in our slide.
Yeah, I saw that here.
Yeah, it's there also in the data sheet. I have added that as my favorite.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, okay. It will launch the Fiori.
We get this.
So run one session, you have to take only on a Fiori. Yeah. How different.
Oh, we'll take many sessions. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Fiori, from a functions perspective, it is just a user interface. For EWM, almost, I think.
But the problem is these days the client wants you when you do go for the training, when you go for the demo.
Yes.
The expectation from that is that you do use this, right?
See, why I'm negating Fiori's impact in EWM, because EWM users are using RF. Fiori, we just have in an idle environment. Nobody's going to use Fiori. Nobody's going to use those fancy Fiori apps. Just they're going to use Warehouse Monitor on the desktop.
Yes, so that's what because for us,
in MMSD, you have a lot of new innovative transactions, a lot of dashboards, cockpits. But
at the end of the day, they were doing same thing what ECC is doing, but it's just more like a cosmetic, the selling.
Yeah, no, it's good. Actually, it's good, but I would not say it's very good for EWM. EWM, whatever innovations SAP has brought, they have brought a new packing transaction. For production, they have new transactions. So for example, creating a sale order. Okay, it's the same thing that we create in that we use in desktop mode, for example. Then then there's no point in going through this in Fiori, but they have given a new transaction, a new innovative transaction, which basically is not like this, it is something else. Then it makes sense to learn that and explore that. So yeah, my aim is to not to show you this, which we can also see in desktop, but to show you some innovative transaction, what's new, and how it is different, and the new transactions which are there in Fiori, they are not on desktop. So yeah, we'll cover them. But yeah, if at all everyone feels we should do all transactions on Fiori, no worries. We have all. I have everything added. We can do that as well. So see this warehouse monitor, for example, it is same on desktop, no change.
I got your point. What the same thing? But what happened? The way of job we have, we have to, like, you are working with S4HANA. We don't get opportunity, right? So we have to get familiarized. It's more getting friendly with the transaction, used to the transaction, used to the screen, because we like old SAP screen. I feel comfortable, but this is going ahead with the future, and this is a good starting point for us. So that's why we were.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine.
Yeah. One more thing, when we have the ASN with the supplier, okay, and we create a purchase order, it goes through the, like in ECC, it goes through the interface to my vendor, and then vendor do the post good issue system. We get a message back, and when that message come back, it create the handling unit number in the system. Within that, create an inbound delivery and create a handling unit number, which gives us the pallet detail, batch detail, right? So in EWM, till here the process will be same, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And till here the process will be same. And then when it will be distributed in EWM, the inbound delivery, it will have the data of the what is the SU number you're getting, and then you
I'll have the handling units, and then you can receive it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So,
You're good.
mhm.
Sorry to interrupt. I
Yeah.
have one question here. So actually, I supposed to ask this question in the last session. So actually, we last session we configured this business systems and business system group, right? That again, that client against the client, first we assign the client and assign a client with BSGA and BSGB, right?
Yeah.
See, actually, my question here is, see, the one client to another client, we assign the business system group and business systems. See, when we, for one scenario, I'll tell you. See, for example, against inbound delivery, we are going to perform RF receiving through RF gun. See, that case, how system determine this device, that there is a link, how the link between the RF device and the system. So is there any URL, web URL configured in the system, or how it is?
There are two things. You first spoke about business system group and then about RF. I don't think business system group has to do anything with RF. Yeah, business system group, because those are with your delivery creations or your product master data creation. So the execution is through RF. So when we create a delivery, we post a good receipt for the handling units through RF. We create a put away through RF. And when we do a outbound, we do picking through RF. We do a goods issue through RF. We don't do goods issue. We stage it. We do the staging. We do the loading through RF. So RF connection to EWM, it's basically through ITS, and we will cover that in detail in our third unit. How to connect, how to execute the process, how the connection is set up, what are our responsibilities there. We will specifically discuss this entire RF setup in our unit 3.
Oh, that's fine. It's fine. See, actually, definitely it should be a setup in URL, right? In config level.
Yes. It's a URL that we create in SAP, and that URL will open up your RF transaction, and then do the execute. Yeah, it's a web based. That you're correct.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, anyhow, we have topic, right?
Yeah, we have detailed topic. There are many things to discuss there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Last thing before we end, there is something called as distribution model. It's supposed to come later, but I'll do it now. So basically, this is a basis settings. It's part of the basis settings in the admin guides and other places, but generally we functional do it. So basis may take our warehouse number from us, and this basically what it does, it activates the bodies to send the transactional data to EWM. So once you've done the integration, okay, this is the logical system for EWM. Let's take that from our data sheet. You just have to go here and execute it. Say create entries, execute it. You can see it has said okay. And then if you can come here and check, it will say data correct for warehouse W34. Okay. So just run this transaction once you've done the integration. This is basically required to activate all the bodies for distributing the deliveries. So if you don't do this, you create a delivery, it will not go to EWM. Okay.
Yeah. So can we go to BD64, please? So EWM, yeah.
So these all are the bodies that get activated, and So got activated for our warehouse. You'll find the warehouse number here.
And what these all are the we do this, so okay, so all the body, the standard body get activated for all inbound what the business of what was there.
For delivery distribution, that's correct. Okay. I think so. We have almost reached our end time. Any other questions before we end for today? So just before we end, quick question. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. See, we already discussed this plant as a customer and plant as a vendor. Where is the setting in product master level, plant as a customer and plant as a vendor? It should be
not at product master level. It's not at a product master level. It's as a business partner level. So if you remember, we created business partners yesterday, and there we entered a plant. Yeah, so at this place, we maintain the plant and business partner. That's where we say it's plant is customer or vendor. Plant is vendor. For customer, we have to do another config.